Welcome to Rhema Words of Faith, Daily Bread Devotionals. Today, we are focusing on a powerful and comforting verse from Psalm 46, verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. This verse speaks directly to the core of our faith, our trust in God, especially during challenging times. It's a verse that reminds us of God's nature. He is a place of refuge, a source of strength, and an ever-present help when we are in trouble. Life often brings difficulties, whether in the form of personal struggles, health challenges, financial stress, or emotional battles. But this verse assures us that God is always there for us. Today, we'll dive into the meaning of this verse, explore what it means to find refuge and strength in God, and how we can experience His presence in every moment of trouble. Let's reflect on this verse and allow it to remind us that no matter what we face, God is right there with us, offering His help and comfort. The first part of Psalm 46 verse 1 says, God is our refuge. A refuge is a place of safety and protection, especially in times of danger or difficulty. In biblical times, cities of refuge were places where people could flee for safety from their enemies or from justice. Similarly, God is our refuge, our safe place when life becomes overwhelming. When we feel attacked by the pressures of life, we can run to God for shelter. His presence offers peace and security in the midst of chaos. This doesn't mean that we won't face trouble, but it means that when we do, God is the place we can turn to for comfort, protection, and rest. God is not a distant or unreachable refuge. He is always available to us. He is our shelter in the storm, our safe haven, when everything around us feels uncertain. When you feel unsafe or uncertain, remember that God is your refuge, your place of protection, where you can rest and be renewed. The second part of Psalm 46 verse 1 tells us that God is not only our refuge, but also our strength. Strength in times of trouble is crucial, and sometimes it feels like we don't have enough of it to make it through the day. Whether we are facing emotional exhaustion, physical pain, or mental stress, we often feel depleted. But this verse assures us that God is our source of strength. When we feel weak, God gives us the strength we need to endure. His strength is not limited by our circumstances. It is limitless. It's the kind of strength that empowers us to keep moving forward even when we feel like giving up. God's strength is available to us in every situation. He provides the inner resolve to stand firm and the courage to keep going. When you feel like you've reached the end of your ability, remember that God is your strength, and He is more than able to carry you through anything. His strength is perfect in our weakness, and it's in those moments that we can experience His power the most. The last part of Psalm 46 verse 1 states that God is an ever-present help in trouble. This is an incredible promise. God is always with us, especially when we face difficulties. It's easy to feel alone when we're going through tough times, but this verse reassures us that God's help is always available. He is not distant or disengaged. He is present, ready to assist us. His help is not a one-time offer. It's an ongoing, constant presence in our lives. Whether we're facing a small inconvenience or a major life crisis, God is there, offering His guidance, wisdom, and comfort. This verse invites us to trust in God's nearness, knowing that He is not just a far-off deity, but a close and caring Father who is always with us. In times of trouble, we can cry out to God, knowing He is present to help. We don't have to face life's challenges on our own. God is by our side, ready to intervene and provide exactly what we need. Psalm 46 verse 1 isn't just a verse to turn to in moments of extreme crisis. It's also a reminder that God is there for us in our everyday struggles. We can experience God's refuge, strength, and help in our daily routines, whether it's dealing with a difficult coworker, managing the stress of family responsibilities, or navigating the pressures of modern life. God's presence is not limited to big life events. He desires to be involved in every part of our lives. We can invite God into our daily situations, asking Him for wisdom, strength, and peace in whatever challenges we face. God's help is not just for the big problems, it's for everything. When you feel overwhelmed by the small daily stresses, remember that God is your refuge and strength, even in those moments. You can find His help in the middle of your day, and you can rely on Him to provide the strength you need to face anything, no matter how small or large the struggle may seem. Psalm 46 verse 1 reminds us that God is our refuge, not just in moments of crisis, but in every season of life. Life has its ups and downs, and we face many different seasons: times of joy, times of hardship, moments of peace, and seasons of struggle. In each of these seasons, God remains our constant refuge. When things are going well, we can still run to God for guidance and thank Him for His faithfulness. During times of difficulty, we can lean on Him for comfort and strength. Trusting God as our refuge means recognizing that His protection is not limited to only the hardest moments, but extends to every part of our journey. Whether you are in a season of growth or a season of waiting, God offers the same refuge, the same protection, and the same love. Embrace His refuge in both the calm and the storm, and know that He is there with you through it all, providing rest and peace. In 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9, Paul writes, "But He said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness.'" Psalm 46 verse 1 reminds us that God is our strength, especially when we feel weak. It's in our weakness that God's strength is most evident. We may feel like we can't go on, that we don't have enough energy or courage to face what lies ahead. But this is when God's strength fills the gap. He doesn't ask us to be strong on our own. He provides the strength we need to endure and overcome. When we admit our weakness, we open the door for God's power to flow through us. His strength is not just about getting through the tough moments. It's about transforming us through those moments, helping us grow and depend on Him more fully. In your weakest moments, remember that God's strength is available to you. It's not based on your ability, but on His power working in you. Psalm 46 verse 1 assures us that God is an ever-present help in trouble. But what does it mean to experience God's help in trouble? It means that no matter what we are going through, God is always there to help us, offering His wisdom, comfort, and guidance. Sometimes God's help might come in the form of a quiet sense of peace in the middle of chaos. Other times, it may come through people, friends, family, or even strangers who offer support, encouragement, or practical help. In some situations, God's help may come in the form of strength to keep going when we feel like quitting. Other times, it may come through His Word, offering verses that remind us of His promises and His faithfulness. God's help is not always a dramatic intervention, but it is always timely and perfect. Trust that in whatever trouble you're facing, God is present and offering you the help you need to overcome. It's easy to call on God for help when things are difficult. But what about when everything is going well? Psalm 46 verse 1 calls us to rely on God not only in times of trouble, but in all circumstances. Often we can forget to turn to God when things are going smoothly, thinking that we have everything under control. But in reality, we need God's refuge and strength in every season, good times and bad. Our dependence on God should be constant. When we rely on Him for guidance and peace during the easy times, we are also learning to trust Him when things get tough. This builds a deeper, more consistent relationship with God. Relying on God as our refuge and strength means acknowledging that we need Him in every moment, not just when trouble comes. As we grow in our dependence on God in all circumstances, we experience a peace that transcends both the highs and lows of life, knowing that He is always present, ready to help. Psalm 46 verse 1 is a reminder that we never face life's challenges alone. God is our refuge, strength, and ever-present help in times of trouble. When we live in the peace of His presence, we can face any situation with confidence, knowing that He will never leave us or forsake us. This is the peace that God offers us, a peace that comes from trusting in His protection and relying on His strength. If you're going through a difficult time today, remember that God is with you, ready to offer His help and peace. Lean into Him and experience His strength. If this message has encouraged you today, please like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded of God's faithful presence. And don't forget to subscribe for more messages that will help you trust in God's refuge, strength, and help every day. Remember, you don't have to face life's troubles alone. God is always with you.